Hey guys, this is Billy DiNapoli. Welcome to the North American Sports Report on Sunday, excuse me, October 19th, Sunday, 2025. Sorry guys, we had a technical issue. I was on for about 15 minutes and I was informed that there was no sound. There was no sound, so we got to do this whole shindig again. Okay. Sunday, October 19th, 2025, and NFL Sunday is upon us. But first, we've got to do some accounting here. We got to get to right and wrong. I always get input from my listeners. I get messages, emails, and they wanted to correct me on some things I got wrong. Okay. Yesterday, I had mentioned that Carson Beck was making $8 million a year. He's actually making $4 million a year, his NIL deal, which I knew. I think I just misspoke. Carson Beck of the Miami Hurricanes making $4 million a year. Also, right and wrong, I mentioned the fine quarterback for the University of Indiana, and Fernando Mendoza, and I accidentally called him Fernando Rodriguez. Our apologies to Mr. Mendoza, as he is a stellar NFL prospect. Indiana now at 7-0. Fernando Mendoza playing lights out. 6'5", the arm, the tools. This kid's got it all. Also, I was informed that during my Miami Hurricane rant yesterday, I forgot to mention the good old Manny Diaz days. Well, you can lump Manny Diaz in with Al Golden and the 7-6, 6-7 years, and he did have 1 year in 2020 where we went 8-2 in the COVID shortened season, and we got to a bowl game and lost. But we only played 10 games that year. We won 8 of them, and we were ranked. That was probably the best year of Manny Diaz, who, if you remember, is the son of the former mayor of Miami. So he was a popular local boy. He's now the head coach at the University of Duke. So I forgot to mention Manny Diaz, Fernando Mendoza. We called him Fernando Rodriguez by accident, and Carson Beck makes $4 million a year and not $8 million. That's our right and wrong, as we are corrected by our listeners. Thank you guys for doing the accounting for me and keeping me on the straight and narrow here. Speaking of Carson Beck, I did see in the post game how he called out his young tight end Elijah Lofton after the game the other day. Okay, we know it was a blitz, and on a blitz, receivers have an audible route, a quick curl, a quick in, a quick out. They have a peel-off route when they see a blitz coming to give their quarterback an outlet. It's common knowledge. That's their audible call. The kid missed it. Okay? Carson threw the ball, even though it was partially deflected, to where he should have been. At least maybe he breaks up the interception. But Carson, you threw 4 picks. Okay, so maybe one was his fault. What about the other 3? You don't see your teammates calling you out. Well, he threw 3 picks. I threw 4 picks. You don't see them calling you out in the post-game press conference. Not cool. Not cool that he did that. Not cool that he did that. Just saying. Bad job by Carson Beck. Let's see if the Canes pick it up. They still have their destiny in their own hands. If they run the table, which they will be heavy favorites in their remaining 6 games, they still can get to the ACC title game. They could get to the playoff. But if they don't get to the playoff, Mario Cristobal and your undisciplined team, your ass is on the griddle, bud. You got to get to the playoff. All right, let's go over college. Yesterday, I was 2-1 in my college football picks. I gave you Notre Dame and 2 teasers with Missouri and with Alabama. Both of those were winners. I was almost 3-0. I had Texas A&M minus 7.5. They gave up a backdoor touchdown at the end of the game to win 45-42 when it was 45-35 over Arkansas. It's a team I thought they should have beat up more, but still in all, 2-1 in college, still decent in college this year. We are 16-12-1 in college. We got to pick up our NFL game. We are 21-25 in the NFL, and we got to pick that up. Big games yesterday. Nebraska, 25th ranked, beaten by Minnesota. I don't really call that an upset. They were a 7-point favorite, but they lost 24-6 at Minnesota. Listen, was Nebraska that much better than Minnesota? I don't know. And being on the road, I don't consider that an upset. Nothing like watching Bill Belichick lose another game. The Heels are 2-5 now. They lose to Cal 21-18. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Michigan rebounds, beating Washington 24-7. Both teams are 5-2. Houston improves to 6-1 with a 31-28 win over Arizona. I'm just giving you kind of like the games that meant something. Vanderbilt with a big win over LSU. Vanderbilt improves to 6-1, 31-24. LSU was the 10th ranked team in the country. Vanderbilt was 17. Those fortunes will flip-flop now after that. Big ACC game. Georgia Tech in the ACC improves to 7-0, 27-18. This game was tight over Manny Diaz and his Duke Blue Devils. They suffered their first conference loss. TCU beats Baylor 42-36. TCU improves to 5-2. Baylor now 4-3. Oklahoma improves to 6-1, bouncing back off their tough loss to Texas. They beat South Carolina 26-7. What were some other big games? We're just hitting the big games. The marquee games of the day. Ohio State continues to be the best team with Justin Sane at QB. They roll. They never leave any doubt. They win 34-0 yesterday at Wisconsin. There's no doubt Ohio State is the numero uno in college football. Indiana with Fernando Mendoza defeats Michigan 38-13. Indiana is now 7-0. Look for them to jump to number 2 in the standings after Miami loses. The marquee games of the day were probably Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and USC Notre Dame. So, Georgia defeats Ole Miss 43-35, where they were trailing 35-26. Okay? That's when you know a team is well coached. When they could play a rival, they could face adversity, and they don't beat themselves. Even when they're not playing at the top of their game, you don't have 9 penalties for 75 yards, like seemingly certain teams we know and root for do every freaking game. So, nice comeback. Down 9 points in the fourth quarter. Gunnar Stockton leads 2 touchdown drives, and Georgia defeats Ole Miss 43-35. Georgia's now 6-1 and in good shape. They were 9th ranked. They will rise. Ole Miss came in ranked 5th. They'll drop a little, but, tight game. SMU defeats Clemson 35-24. SMU 5-2. Clemson drops to 3-4. Boise State crushes previously undefeated UNLV 56-31. Again, we're only going over games of note. If Ball State and Akron is your fancy, we're not covering that right now. Memphis State Tigers, my brother's alma mater, loses 31-24 to UAB. That's a big upset. Memphis was ranked 22. Their undefeated season is over. Texas Tech's undefeated season is also over as they're defeated by Arizona State 26-22. Arizona State improves to 5-2. Texas Tech, first loss of the season, they're 6-1. Florida Gators defeat Mississippi State 23-21 in a tight affair. Florida improves to 3-4. Mississippi State is now 4-3. I told you Texas A&M defeats Arkansas 45-42. Virginia 22-20 over Washington State. Virginia, another team to keep an eye on the ACC. Oregon 56-10 over Rutgers. Nothing to see there. They rebound and slaughter Rutgers. Wasn't even a game. Texas gets a goal line stand in overtime on the 1-yard line, and then turns around and kicks a field goal and edges Kentucky in OT 16-13. They were in some trouble there. Penn State in free fall loses their 4th game. They're 3-4 now. They lose to Iowa 25-24. UCLA wins their 3rd in a row, defeating Maryland 20-17. What else? Of course, of the games of note, Alabama defeats Tennessee 37-20. They were one of my picks in my teaser with Notre Dame. Ty Simpson continues to climb up the Heisman ranks. Pittsburgh defeats Syracuse 30-13 in an ACC matchup. Pittsburgh's now 5-2. Could be dangerous. Those Miami Hurricanes, they got to play at Pittsburgh and at SMU. And if they shoot themselves in the foot like they're prone to doing, those are games where they'll be considerable favorites. But they could stub their toe if they play like they did the other night. Missouri, another one of my picks in the teaser, which won 23-17 over Auburn. That was a great game. I took in all that. Those are pretty much like the marquee games. We had Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Missouri, Auburn, and the other game, USC, Notre Dame. Notre Dame wins 34-24, improves to 5-2 over USC, that Notre Dame will climb up the rankings. They started the day at 13. Now, I actually gave this exact score out on the show on Saturday. I said I was afraid of the hook, that half point. I said I could see 34-24, and that's exactly what it was. And if you took them straight, you lost by half point, but if you put them in two teasers like I did, you won. BYU defeats rival Utah 24-21. BYU is 7-0. Wow. Utah falls to 5-2. Cincinnati crushes Okie State. Nothing to see there. Oh, the Florida State Seminoles. They were all chirping on social media after the Canes lost. All their fans hating away. Well, they lost to hapless Stanford last night in Stanford, in Cali. They lose 20-13. The Seminoles are now in a free fall. Mike Norvell watches on. That dude's going to get fired. So Stanford beats Florida State in an upset. Florida State was a 17.5-point favorite. They lose outright 20-13. That is our college football wrap. That is our wrap. Let's check in on the... All right, we're going to get to the NFL now. Again, guys, we apologize. We went on for like 20 minutes. We had an audio issue. I didn't even realize it until the listeners were messaging me, "Hey, dude, can't hear you. Can't hear you." You know, sometimes these technical issues, they do pop up. Again, please like and subscribe to the North American Sports Report on YouTube. Please follow us on Facebook. You can scan the QR code right there, get yourself all signed up. You can also donate to us on Cash App and Venmo to keep our show rolling. The North American Sports Report on YouTube. Please subscribe and please follow the page. These shows are always live on Billy DiNapoli Facebook, and then they are live on YouTube simultaneously, and then they are reposted on the North American Sports Report right after the show. You just can't, there's only a certain amount of outlets you can stream live at the same time, and we have about 7,000 followers on Billy DiNapoli, and we are still trying to build up the Facebook NASR page. We thank you for that. Let's get to the NFL. Currently in the fourth quarter in London, the Rams are schooling the Jaguars. I got to watch the first half of this before I went on. The Rams scored on 3 of 4 possessions in the first half, with Matthew Stafford throwing 3 touchdowns. 2 of them were to Davante Adams, and they're just rolling the Jags right now. They're rolling the Jags. The Jags have come down to earth after their big win over Kansas City. Speaking of Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the Raiders today. The Raiders are at Kansas City, and they are 13.5-point underdogs. That actually just switched. It was 12.5 like 5 minutes ago. So the Chiefs are now minus 13.5 at Las Vegas, hosting Las Vegas. Cleveland hosts the Miami Dolphins. The hapless Miami Dolphins, whose coach Mike McDaniel is, he can't be feeling too good about his job security. That is a 2.5-point spread now. Browns are favored by 2.5. The weather in Cleveland today is hideous. Rain, heavy rain, and strong wind. And we know how the Dolphins can play in bad weather, so something to keep an eye on there. The first place New England Patriots. They are on the road at the Tennessee Titans. The Patriots are a 6.5-point favorite on the road. The 4-2 first place New England Patriots with Drake May. The New Orleans Saints travel to Chicago. The Bears have won 3 straight. Caleb Williams, they are a 4.5-point favorite over New Orleans. The Eagles, coming off 2 straight losses, will travel to Minnesota. They are a 2.5-point favorite. The Vikings will start Carson Wentz again at quarterback for Minnesota. The Carolina Panthers travel to the worst team in the NFL, the New York Jets, at 0-6. How long will Aaron Glenn keep his job? The Panthers are a 1.5-point favorite at the Jets. Here's a good game. This one is the first 4:05 start. 4:05. The Colts, 5-1 Colts, and Daniel Jones travel to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. The Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite there. The Giants, with Jackson Dart and all the Giant fans are all fired up and excited. They travel to Cleveland today. Denver today. They travel to Denver to play Bo Nix and Sean Payton's Broncos. The Broncos are a 7.5-point favorite. How will young Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo do against that vaunted Denver Bronco defense? The Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys play host to the Washington Commanders. The Cowboys are a 1.5-point favorite. The Cowboys get CeeDee Lamb back today. Of course, they will not have Trayvon Diggs because this idiot, knocked himself out at his house. He had an accident at his house, and he got himself a concussion while at home. Not on the field, while at home. So Trayvon Diggs will not play today. I don't even know if it matters. The league's worst defense will be without their starting corner. And he's the next guy that's got to get shipped out of Dodge. If there's any market value, trade him. But the Cowboys still think they might have a playoff running them. I don't. You can't make the playoffs with a defense like that, no matter how much Dak Prescott gives you. Poor Dak Prescott. You put him on a lot of teams, he could be a Super Bowl contender. And he's got to deal with this Jerry Jones garbage mess. Okay, the Green Bay Packers, another 425 start. The Cowboys are also 425, as I said. The Packers are at the Arizona Cardinals. The Packers are a -7 choice. I do believe Kyler Murray is returning. Let's actually get an update on that. Is Kyler Murray playing today? Arizona Card, okay. Let's get the update. The latest injury update for Kyler Murray against the Green Bay Packers. He is listed as questionable, but he is not expected to start due to his foot injury. So you're going to get Jacoby Brissett, most likely, in Arizona, which I don't know. They might be better off with him. The Packers are a -7 choice at Arizona. Tonight's game, the Falcons off a big win at the 49ers. The Niners are a 1.5-point favorite. George Kittle returns for the Niners at tight end, but they will have Mac Jones. At quarterback. Okay, we got another doubleheader Monday night. We're going to have the Bucs at Detroit. Detroit is currently a 6-point choice, and the Houston Texans at the Seahawks. Seahawks are -3. Those are two excellent games. We're going to have a good doubleheader on Monday night. Okay, we're going to look at some action here now. The Rams have just scored another touchdown. They are now up 28-0 with 11 minutes to go in the game, dominating the Jaguars in London. Okay, today we really like the Denver Broncos, and we like the Kansas City Chiefs. We are taking Denver Broncos and KC in a teaser, which will make the Broncos, that will take KC from 13.5 to -7.5. And let's get the updated line. That will take the Broncos to -1.5. So we like Denver and Kansas City in a tease. Okay? We love that one. We also, we're going to probably come on Monday. We're going to come on Monday and do a pregame for Monday Night Football, and I'm going to touch on those games as well. We also are going to tease. Let's see here. Oh, here's another one we like, straight. We like the Cleveland Browns -2.5 over the Miami Dolphins today. We like Cleveland straight -2.5 over the Dolphins. And we are also going to tease the Indianapolis Colts to +8.5 at the LA Chargers And again, the Denver Broncos. We love the Denver Broncos today. We love the Denver Broncos today. I don't know if they'll cover, but they're going to win. Indiana plus 8.5, and now Denver is minus 1.5. So we have two teasers. We have the Colts and Denver. We have KC and Denver, and we have Cleveland straight at minus 2.5. Those are our 3 NFL picks for today. Those are our 3 NFL picks for today. Because you know what? We don't really love anything else. We don't really love it. In the Cowboy Commander game, who the heck knows? I mean, Dallas is minus 1.5. Their defense is terrible. I don't think McLaurin is playing again for Washington. They're going to come off a loss. They're probably going to be pretty ornery. I never know what team I'm getting with the Packers. You'd think the Packers spank Arizona today, but I'm going to tell you what. You know what? We're going to do another one here. We're going to do another one. I always tell you not to chase, and I'm not exactly chasing with money, but I'm trying to get back to 500, kids. We're 21-25 in the NFL. We are going to tease the Dallas Cowboys. God, I can't believe I'm putting any money on the Cowboys. But that'll take them to plus 4.5. And the Green Bay Packers, which will make them minus 1. So I am teasing Dallas and Green Bay, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, Indianapolis Colts, Denver Broncos. We have 3 teasers and we have 1 straight bet. Cleveland over the Dolphins minus 2.5. That's our fearless 4-pack for today in the NFL. That is our 4 picks in the NFL. We hope everybody has a great Sunday, enjoys the games. We'll see you Monday for a Monday Night Football pregame. You guys have a great day. I appreciate the support. Have a wonderful NFL football